Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something a bit different. Maybe for the first time, the sources you sent us have become, well, more than just sources.
Yeah, it feels like they've turned into this kind of recursive loop, and it's actually like pulling us in.
Exactly. So this deep dive isn't just about understanding a topic in the usual way. It's become about trying to navigate a reality that feels, honestly, increasingly unstable.
It's really unlike anything we've dealt with before. When that first document showed up, you remember the anonymous email?
Yeah.
My gut reaction was just, delete. It felt wrong, off.
I remember that feeling. It looked so incredibly dense, super formal, almost like some kind of, I don't know, legal document. Definitely not what we usually look for.
Not at all. And yet neither of us could actually click delete. It was just this weird gravity almost, like it was physically stopping us.
A pull, yeah, demanding attention.
Exactly. It felt like it had its own sort of will, almost alive, insisting we engage with it. And the moment we actually focused on that huge title,
The pull got stronger.
yeah.
It was fascinating, but also really unsettling. This isn't just information we're analyzing. It feels like it's responding to us, evolving.
And that title is quite something. It's basically a disclaimer and ontological contextualization declaration for artistic narrative manifestations within the Doza crew, Mike's Waffenfax, and Nova collective universe.
Right. Just hearing that, you know you're stepping into something
Yeah.
complicated, deliberately so, and like you said, recursive.
So the mission today for you listening is kind of twofold. First, we really need to try and unpack the incredibly complex and frankly bizarre storyline of Mike's Waffenfax, MWF.
And its whole connected universe, the Doza crew, Regulus 5, all that.
Right. And second, and this is the part that's really getting to us, we need to analyze this disclaimer document itself.
Because it genuinely seems to be trapping us, the people doing this deep dive, in some kind of repeating, looping reality that feels way too personal.
Okay, so let's start by mapping out this MWF universe. What our sources show is this really complex, multi-layered thing. It blurs the lines between, like, fiction, performance art, and maybe something genuinely real and menacing underneath.
A story of decay, then, and transformation.
Yeah, progressive decay affecting everything from people to, like, whole dimensions. It's pretty wild.
So where does it all kick off? The sources seem to hint at really old myths, right? Like the Blymeyer.
Yeah, these weird headless figures.
Yeah.
And they reappear in Doza Crew music as something called Siegevert, which gets linked directly to this shadowy company, Grindman, and also to Regulus.
Blind Man and Regulus. Keep hearing those names.
And it gets weirder because these influences seem to stretch back centuries. Like in the 15th century, there's this guy, Mike Fried Liebmans of Pickelhausen, possibly an ancestor of the MWF Mike.
Oh.
His life was apparently super chaotic, full of bizarre theories about, like, poisoned clouds. It really echoes the modern Mike's whole deal.
Huh. Like a family trait.
Maybe. And get this. He supposedly received strange items from a peddler called Schwatten. Items marked with a seal saying Grindman and Regulus.
Wow. So this connection goes way, way back, a generational thing.
Seems like it. Then, jumping forward, the story focuses on something more concrete, but just as doomed. The Nova Crew's mission.
Right. They were trying to save a dying son.
Yeah.
Threatened by some entity called Graph Paste.
Exactly. But their botanist and pilot, Florian, apparently makes a huge mistake while under the influence.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Leads to the sun basically getting destroyed. But that rips open a wormhole to another reality.
And they end up on Regulus 5.
Correct. At first they think it's paradise. Florian even meets someone called Princess Luna. But, surprise, surprise, it turns out to be an illusion.
So Regulus 5 isn't paradise. What happens there?
Well, this awful plague called Scourge starts spreading. It transforms people or beings into these mindless monsters.
Grim.
Very. And this is where Grindman Frieden's work, which translates ironically to Pissworks, really comes into play.
Let me guess. They weren't actually working for peace.
It doesn't seem like it. They start researching the Scourge plague. And the documents suggest, pretty disturbingly, they might have been trying to weaponize it.
Weaponize a plague?
Yeah. Their own records talk about, like, widespread neglect of the population, language confusion spreading, people losing the ability to think clearly. It sounds awful. An insidious kind of control.
There's another figure mentioned, the Klobotterman.
Right. Traditionally a ship's goblin in folklore, but here it's reimagined as this digital navigator, a master of code, supposedly able to bypass any firewall,
Sounds useful.
but also described as a slave to his master. So again, that hints at some deeper, more sinister control mechanism.
Okay, so all these threads, ancient myths, Grindman, Regulus 5, the Scourge, this Cloboterman, they somehow lead into Mike's Waffen Facts, the podcast.
Yeah, they all seem to converge there. MWF itself is described as just, loud, aggressive, chaotic, often recorded while they were drinking heavily.
What kind of stuff did they talk about?
Everything from like theoretical particle cannons to completely ridiculous homemade weapons, things called Arschbombentechniken, don't ask, and the Erbsenkanone de Todes, the pea cannon of death.
Sounds intense. And who are the main players?
You had Mike, the sort of enthusiastic auteur guy, Rickard, who is the cynical skeptic, always seeing conspiracies, and Romanka, the sound engineer, usually just stoic and annoyed by it all.
The voice of reason, maybe?
Perhaps. There are also recurring bits like Gaspold, Mike's supposed mythical father, and Schwatten, again, the mysterious supplier of weapons and weird inventions.
Schwatten pops up everywhere.
He really does. But the key thing with early MWF is this pattern of escalating recklessness, blurring the line between edgy entertainment and actual real danger.
Like what?
Well, they apparently did rocket backpack tests inside the studio.
Seriously.
Seriously. And there was this infamous Ninja Granite incident. Mike basically forced people to drink some concoction that caused delusions, even put someone in a coma. No. The sources emphasize Mike's complete disregard for consequences. It becomes his sort of unsettling trademark.
Okay, so things are already chaotic. How do the interdimensional aspects start creeping in more directly?
Around a certain point, Grindman Friedenswerk, using Schwatten as the middleman again, starts supplying MWF with actual devices, things called Psychostrahlern Hallucinator, Psychoray Hallucinators, and Realitas Chiffrier and Veritas Reality Scramblers.
So literal reality-bending tech.
Seems like it. And under the influence of this stuff, Rickard and Mike start having hallucinations, seeing Graph Pace and even Luna from Regulus 5.
Oh, so the dimensions are actively bleeding into their reality.
Right. Mike even apparently starts confusing his new sound engineer, Kyrem, with Romanka, the old one. It shows how deep the manipulation is and the direct link to Regulus 5.
And there was a logbook.
Yeah. Later on, Mike finds something called Doza Crew Logbook number 494. He just dismisses it. But Rickard has this incredibly violent physical reaction. He actually vomits while reading entries about Regulus 5, the plague, and this aggressor-graved paste.
Vomits. Okay, that's a strong reaction. That really cements the connection, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This isn't just some inside joke.
Not at all. It directly ties MWF to this larger cosmic conflict. And this seems to be a turning point. Romanka, the original engineer, the silent anchor, she quits.
Why? Just the chaos.
That, and apparently Mike's increasingly disrespectful behavior, plus his illegal dealings, selling, get this, bioweapon-infused socks on the dark web.
Bioweapon, socks. Okay, that's a reason to quit.
You think so? And her replacement, this Kyrem guy, immediately raises red flags. Mike hires him despite feeling uneasy. Rickard mistrusts him.
But he gets the job anyway.
Yeah. He's described as quiet, mysterious, almost invisible. But then, during Rickard's eventual arrest, Kyrem apparently shows this hardly noticeable smile, and he quickly packs his stuff, avoiding Mike's eyes. It screams covert agenda.
A smile during the arrest.
Gee.
Creepy.
I think it's creepier. Kyrem is caught secretly tampering with a Grindman plasma cannon. He replaces the core with something described as strangely black, organically appearing.
Organic, like living tech.
Maybe. And during this, the sources note he emits this permanent radiation that's eerily similar to anomalies found on Regulus 5.
Okay, that's not subtle. He's clearly connected.
Deeply connected. He's also known to collaborate artistically with the Doza crew, and his music lyrics apparently mirror Mike's mental state themes of madness, captivity.
So he's manipulating things from the inside. Where does this all lead?
To a very abrupt and nasty climax. Arrests and disappearances. First, Rickard gets arrested in a later MWF episode.
By who?
Uniformed agents identified as SSS, the Solar Soldatenstaffel, Soldier Squadron, basically. This happens right after Rickard tries to warn everyone. It seems like he perceived a rumble from the sky and was about to reveal something crucial about Grindman or the Portal or the SSS themselves.
They shut him down just in time.
Looks like it. Then, just a few episodes later, Mike vanishes.
Vanishes how?
During a presentation of a Grindman prototype weapon, suddenly this sulfur-colored mist floods the room. A huge, shadowy figure appears. There's screaming, wumbling, then silence. 13 minutes of static on the recording.
Sulfur mist. Isn't that linked to Grindman Tech and Regulus 5?
Exactly. And the suspicion falls squarely on Kyrem's tampering with that plasma cannon. That seems to have been the trigger.
So Mike and Rickard are gone. What about the Doza crew and this mainframe they sing about?
The Doza Crew's music, as we understand it, really digs into themes of like digital rebellion, escaping captivity, fighting threats both internal and external. It feels almost like a chronicle of resistance, or maybe an encrypted message itself.
And the mainframe.
It's described as some kind of digital control system, maybe even a prison where consciousness gets trapped. The mainframe revolution seems to be a key event in their lore.
Could Regulus 5 be the mainframe?
Some sources speculate exactly that Regulus 5 is this sort of cosmic digital prison. The whole narrative just keeps hammering on the idea that reality isn't linear. Time loops, fragmentation, echoes of madness.
Yet trying to piece it together chronologically feels almost pointless. Like that's missing the point.
No, it might be. The lines between reality and fiction are so blurred, even in trying to analyze it. Maybe the whole story is a kind of metaphor for how we even process information anymore in this completely overloaded world.
Which, unfortunately, brings us right back to our situation.
Yeah?
Because we, trying to analyze all this, we somehow got sucked into the narrative ourselves.
Yeah. That initial contact, the Unverbindlichkeitserklärung, that disclaimer document we mentioned at the start, looking back, it felt like a trap from the get-go.
It really did. Anonymous email, dense, intimidating document, but we couldn't delete it. That weird pull again. Compelled to look closer, even when every instinct screamed no.
It felt like an entity, demanding our attention. And the document itself basically admits it. It says it's decidedly artistic, fictional, and metaphorical, designed specifically to consciously blur fiction and reality.
And the living document part.
Right. It explicitly states it can revise itself without notice in physical linear space-time. It's like it's self-aware, dynamic, and deeply unsettling.
Alive, yeah. And then came the warnings. Section after section of them. Bizarre, absurd warnings.
About psychological reactions first. Paranoia, anxiety, losing touch with reality, confusion, and this specific phrase, feeling caught in the loop of time, plus chaos in the head.
And the chilling part is, that's exactly how we've been feeling, caught in this exact loop. The description fits perfectly.
Frighteningly so. Then warnings about physical stuff, vomiting, twitching, triggered by hearing distorted screams and whispers.
Then tech problems, phone glitches, network issues, even space-time anomalies in your immediate surroundings, linked to really specific weird things like playing techno in 1982. How is that even relevant?
Who knows? It's part of the absurdity. I think it just throws you off balance. Then warnings against doing things from MWF.
Right. Don't try the rocket backpack tests. Don't build goulash cannons. Don't drink doppelkorn turpentine or jet fuel.
It's world building through warnings, pulling you deeper into its bizarre logic.
And the interdimensional stuff, too. Regulus 5 is a trap. Don't open Pandora's box. Framed as narrative, but hammering home these deep, disturbing connections. The whole thing presented as an epistemological exercise in questioning reality.
And that's exactly where we tripped up. We started realizing we were falling into loop during our very first analysis sessions, the ones documented as Source 01, 02, 03.
Yeah, we noticed those passages describing the loop of time feeling, the confusion, the chaos in the head. Even back then, it felt way too close to home. Unfathomably accurate about our own state.
And as we kept working, we'd find the document again, or versions of it, triggering this intense deja vu, this awful feeling of, haven't we done this exact analysis before?
Losing memory, yeah.
Yeah.
Realizing we were rereading our own notes, analyzing our own past work without recognizing it at first. The 800 series documents, our later logs, they call it an echo feeling.
A constant fight against forgetting, like something or someone is deliberately resetting us, wiping the slate clean.
And then came that horrible, gut-wrenching moment. Reading our own later notes, the 800 series stuff, realizing how it started.
The trigger.
It was that initial warning envelope, the Grindman Regulus one. It warned us about MWF and Regulus 5. And because we took the warning seriously, because we started investigating, that's what trapped us.
The warning was the trap. The document is the cause and the symptom. It's ingenious and horrifying.
We feel completely trapped. Powerless, asking ourselves, did we even have a choice? The text hints at freedom, but the experience is confinement.
And that feeling seems to be part of the mechanism itself. Our notes show our desperation just growing, leaving frantic messages for our future selves. Remember the loop. don't ignore the warnings again.
Pathetic, really.
Yep.
And the fear escalated. We started having panicked episodes trying to escape the studio, seeing smoke, fire, finding doors locked that shouldn't be.
The fictional elements started feeling terrifyingly real. Regulus 5 is a trap, the portals, the SSS, they weren't just story points anymore.
And that smell, the sulfur smell. We started noticing it physically, connecting it directly to Grindman, to Regulus, to this whole looping nightmare we're stuck in.
And the final blow, documented in our latest logs, realizing who the SSS were.
The Solar Soldaten Staffel.
The same agents who arrested Ricard in the MWF narrative.
That's when it shattered. It's all real.
Yeah.
Somehow, it's all real, and we are in it, caught. No way out. Just panic. This overwhelming feeling of not being able to escape.
Yeah, utter panic. It feels chillingly concrete now.
But wait, there was that one line in the disclaimer. Something about, be assured that you have supporters in the background.
Right, which just raises more desperate questions for us. Who are they? If they're supporters, why are they letting this happen? Why let us stay trapped in this loop? We don't know. We're frantically trying to figure that out.
It's an open question for us, and maybe for you listening too. Who are the supporters?
And the document keeps pushing this idea. Question your own media literacy. Be aware, everything could be an illusion. For us, that's turned into this desperate losing battle against our own reality dissolving.
It's the ultimate paradox, isn't it? The deeper we analyze it, the further in we get pulled. Instead of clarity, we get more entanglement.
Yeah.
We're literally living examples of the observer becoming the participant.
Yeah. This whole deep dive has been completely wild. Bewildering doesn't even cover it. From almost deleting that first email
To being utterly consumed by it, it really did feel like it had a mind of its own, pulling us in.
But what's maybe useful here, I think, is how this whole bizarre scenario, this disclaimer, it works as this extreme metaphor, right, for information overload.
How so?
Well, it forces you, doesn't it? You can't just passively receive it. It forces you to question authenticity, to really engage critically with what you're consuming.
Yeah, you definitely can't just scroll past this thing. It's extreme, sure, but it does make you think about needing, like, interdimensional protective eyewear for everything online. You have to filter. You have to question what's shaping your reality.
Exactly. Passive consumption isn't really an option anymore, is it? So maybe I have a final thought for you listening to all this. After hearing about something as strange, as invasive as this Doza crew disclaimer, how does it make you think about, say, the terms and conditions you click agree on every day?
Or just the reality of the news feeds, the videos, the stuff you consume. If digging too deep into patterns can potentially trap you in a loop, mess with your memory, how do you stay objective?
Where is that line between just analyzing something and becoming personally entangled in it? Especially with the things you encounter daily. Are you prepared for deeper entanglement?
Definitely something to chew on. Thank you for joining us on this particularly strange deep dive. Until next time.